with yesterday. Polynomials. As you saw from last night's homework when we added them, they can be binomials with 2 terms. They can be trinomials with 3 terms. I'm going to start with a simple one with 2 terms. And again, I'm going to stack them vertically. If you get a problem in tonight's homework that is not stacked vertically like this, that are written side by side instead, I'm going to suggest that you write it this way. This is going to be a much easier way to do it. Now, here's the tricky part. The instructions for last night's homework would have a problem like this, and it just said add. The numbers you saw written in your book, I'll get back to that in a minute when I give you your homework. Basically, we're going to be using the same problems as yesterday, but now instead of adding, we are subtracting. And here's the tricky part to remember. It's not hard math, you just have to remember to do this. We are subtracting the entire second polynomial, and it doesn't show this subtraction sign or the parentheses. Again, the problems from yesterday just say add. So let me just show you real quickly, and then I'll show you again when we get to the homework. For example, on number 10, we added this. It doesn't have a plus sign, but the directions up here told us to add. Today, you're going to take the same one, and you're going to be subtracting it. And again, subtracting in the book, it doesn't show this, what I've shown in red. The only thing you have to remember is that we are subtracting the entire second polynomial, which means, since subtraction is the same as
adding
the opposite, of course, we need to add the opposite of everything in the second parentheses. So the only trick, the only difference from yesterday is I want you to start by doing this, minus the whole thing, and then go in and say I'm going to add the opposite. This was a positive 3m. I'm going to make it its opposite, which is negative. This was a positive 1. I'm going to make it its opposite, which is a negative. Now, it's just like yesterday. We've turned it into adding. We have to add the opposite. We can't just change subtraction to addition. But once we add the opposite, now we're back to the same as yesterday. You just have to remember to flip all the signs in the second polynomial. Negative 3 plus negative 1, negative 4. Again, we are now adding, and this second term is now a negative. And 4m plus negative 3m, or you could think 4 minus 3, same idea, 1m, and there's my answer. So let's do one with a trinomial in it, and then I think we're done, because really, once you add the opposite of the second polynomial, you're back to yesterday's lesson. So let's try to continue, see if it'll keep going there. We are going to now do the exact same thing with a polynomial. 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. And the second polynomial, now these are trinomials, right? X squared minus 2x plus 3. Now again, in your book, they're just written like this. So every problem you do today will be subtraction. So every single one, I want you to start by subtracting with parentheses the whole second polynomial, always the second one. It's always the first one minus the second one. And I'm doing it in red just so you can see it. You can do it in color or just with your pencil, it's fine. The first thing we need to do is add the opposite of everything in the second polynomial. I change it to addition. This is positive, it becomes negative. This was negative, it becomes positive. The 3 was positive, it becomes a negative. So we change all the signs, and now again, we're back to yesterday's lesson. Now we are adding the opposite instead of subtracting. 1 plus negative 3 makes negative or minus 2. Negative 2x plus 2x. Oh, they cancel out. 0 x's, I'm not even going to write down 0x. 3 minus 1 makes 2x squares. So this came from here. But there's no plain x's. Here's my answer. That's it. Now, real quickly, take a look at your book, page 149, because I want to show you the instructions here and what these numbers mean in your book. Most likely you've got numbers written in. This section that we did yesterday on page 149, up at the top, it just says add, and it gives you a bunch of addition problems. We just did the evens. Then if you look down here where my paper is, 21 to 30, it says in exercises 9 to 18, subtract the lower polynomial from the upper one. So they're saying, go back to these same problems and now do them as subtraction. But because we are only doing the evens, it can be hard to match up. So what these numbers are, that in mine are in pencil and yours are probably similar, is that number 10, right, this little explanation down here says start with number 21. Your problems 21 to 30 are using these. So 21 would be the 9, but we're not doing that. So 22 is 10. But now it's a subtraction problem, right? So these answers I'm showing are the addition answers. I'm covering up the subtraction answers. Number 12 becomes number 24 as in a subtraction problem. Number 26, number 28, number 30, and we're actually stopping there. So the first thing for homework, page 149, numbers 22 to 30 evens, and again, you want to look at those little numbers. If you don't have the numbers written in, when I'm done here, raise your hand, I'll come around and I can help you. So first of all, you're going to do those. And then down at the bottom, and now I need to take this out because it's showing too many answers. At the bottom, where you had 31 and 32 yesterday, these are written side by side. I want you to stack them vertically. So let's try 33 and 34. It's not very many problems, guys. You should be able to finish this in class. Go